Welcome to the Life with Nate YouTube channel. My name is Nate, and I'll take you on a journey on exploring whatever I find interesting, and my current research interest is artificial intelligence and public policy, both as a potential career field where I'll find a future job, and also as a deep research interest. AI, or artificial intelligence, is now everywhere, from the apps on our phones to the algorithms shaping how governments make decisions. But beyond all this cool tech, there's something that we need to consider, and that's effectively keeping human beings within the loop when it comes to making policy decisions. So AI is going to radically change how we manage it as human beings, what policies guide it, and what it also means as our future, not just for our society, but our species and our planet as a whole. So I come from a public policy background, which means that I study how pieces of policy, either at the state level or the federal level here in the United States, impacts human health and the environment. I have a specific portfolio, but that's besides the point. I want to take my public policy background and apply that to different sectors, which are directly impacted by AI. So for example, healthcare, education, climate change, national security, defense, like all these different sectors that are going to be impacted by the incoming AI revolution. And so it's already happening right now. November 30th, 2022 was the ChatGPT moment that effectively democratized everyone's access to AI technologies, generative AI specifically, and how it's going to impact our relationship with like work, our careers, business, the society that we live in, but also the planet as a whole. It's been utterly fascinating seeing every country pursue their own AI agenda, including the US and also our partners in the EU. So, for example, I'll be comparing a lot of the pieces of legislation that I find just out there using policy trackers, like, for example, the vaunted SB 1047 bill that was vetoed at the very last minute in California, or maybe the Colorado AI bill that got signed into law, which is like very interesting. And then if we apply an international perspective to this, there are pieces of legislation like the EU AI Act that exist. The African Union came out with their own policy memorandum on AI. So I'd like to take the time to explore maybe the various pros and cons, what it means, and then like the current status like of those bills as of a video recording. I think also what I'm going to do is I'm also a research scientist by trade. So I find and read a lot of science papers that talk about not necessarily like the technical aspects of like, the benchmark metrics for like large language models. I'm not a software developer, and frankly, I don't have an interest in that type of thing. However, like I do find a lot of papers that talk about like, for example, the large language models that big tech are developing right now in relation to society and then our future with work or data governance issues with like privacy concerns here in the US, because a common concern that everyone has is the data that these large language models are trained on. And so all these different things combined, I think, can make a really effective series on how we explore our relationship with AI, not just from an environmental sense, because that's my policy analyst background, but from a societal lens in like different areas, including like, again, like healthcare, education, defense, national security. All these things will tie together and illustrate how AI is changing the way that we live, the way that we work, and the way that we will interact with said technology moving forward in the future. So look forward to future videos with that regard. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more content. See you next time.